The universe is unbelievably massive, but we only have one Earth, one home, and one chance. Climate change is one of the serious problems we face today. We see it all around us. Don't be mistaken between climate and weather. They're two different things. Weather describes short-term patterns that happen daily, for example, rain and snow. On the other hand, climate describes long-term patterns that happen over many years. The Earth's climate greatly depends on the sun's radiation. Different locations on the Earth receive different amounts. Near the equator, the sun is located more directly above the Earth, and its rays are densely concentrated at the equator, so the climate there is fairly warm. Near the poles, the sun is located at an angle that causes its rays to be spread over a large area. The climate near the poles is much cooler than in the equator. Seasons are created because of the Earth's tilt. Polar regions receive different amounts of sunlight at different times of the year, more in the summer and less in the winter, and have dramatic temperature changes according to the season. In the equator, the seasonal changes are not as noticeable because they get a lot of sunlight all year round. Oceans have a big effect on climate. They are able to store heat from the sun that Earth gets in the summer. Water heals and cools slowly. So in the winter, oceans slowly release the stored heat. That way, oceans have the ability to moderate climate. The Hadley circulation affects climate by the movement of warm and cold air in the atmosphere. Is it too late? No. We could still save our Earth, our home, but you need to help. If everyone contributes even a little, we could do something. Just don't sit there and watch it all happen.
Dad, why is it so hot?
Well, you see, son, it's because of something we like to call the greenhouse effect.
What's a greenhouse?
It has nothing to do with an actual greenhouse, but unfortunately, the label has stuck. The effect in our atmosphere doesn't work like a greenhouse and only occurs because of something called greenhouse gases.
Just what is the greenhouse effect?
Come with me, son, and I'll show you.
Whoa, where are we?
We're in space, my boy. And if you look right over there, you will see the greenhouse effect in action.
What's going on?
Well, son, I'm gonna try to explain this as best as I can. See the sun?
Uh-huh.
The light coming off from the sun hits the Earth and warms the surface. At the same time, the Earth releases infrared radiation. Because of this, the atmosphere warms up, and to cool off, it has to radiate some heat into space. Some heat is given to space, but the rest goes back to the Earth's surface.
Oh, so is that why it's so hot? Because of the extra energy.
That's exactly right, son. That's why temperatures rise.
I'm beginning to get it.
Excellent. Now it's time to get scientific. There are two ways the greenhouse effect can take place. The first way is for carbon dioxide molecules to absorb the infrared radiation, or the sun's heat rays. Then the molecules begin to vibrate, because there's an increase in kinetic energy.
So how does the infrared radiation get back to Earth?
Well, after the carbon dioxide molecules vibrate, the radiation goes back to the Earth.
Oh, so what's the second way?
Glad you asked. Another way is by having an excited carbon dioxide molecule move towards an oxygen molecule.
Do they collide?
Yep, they collide, and now the oxygen molecule begins to vibrate while moving.
After all that, what happens?
The infrared radiation is absorbed by another CO2 molecule, and the entire process restarts. Infrared radiation escapes into space once more.
And the Earth's surface is reheated.
Exactly. The process repeats and the Earth becomes warmed.
Ah.
Does that clear things up, Sonny?
It does. You know, Dad, it's almost like a game of snakes and ladders.
That game you were playing today? How so?
When we were playing the game, certain parts went up on the ladders and some went down in the snakes. Just like the greenhouse effect, there are two different ways that the Earth's surface could be warmed.
Wow, son, that's a great way of looking at it.
Dad, will it be this hot tomorrow?
Who knows, son? Who knows?
2003 was the hottest summer in 500 years. During the heat wave, there was an estimated 35,000 deaths. Still skeptic about global warming? Winters will be shorter. making the summers hotter. Hotter summers make polar ice caps melt. When ice caps melt, oceans will overflow and flood. Skeptics believe in global warming only when the water reaches the ceiling. But that'll be too late.
Timmy here is enjoying his juice box, but little does he know that by throwing it in the garbage, it'll end up in a landfill, stagnating and releasing methane and CO2. Causing glaciers to melt and ocean levels to rise. Crops will be destroyed, and there will be a lack of food for everyone on the planet. Our natural resources will become scarce and polluted. And the result could be war. Now, Timmy, do you really want to be the cause of Armageddon?
We live in a consumer society where we are the main cause of global warming. Solutions for solving global warming are easier to find than we think. Small solutions can add up, like taking the bus instead of driving. When you're cold, instead of turning on the heat, put on a sweater. Refrain from using plastic water bottles and instead use a refillable water bottle. Reuse, reduce, and recycle. Let's keep our expectations realistic. You can't save the Earth overnight, but you can turn these goals into environmentally friendly habits which will help your Earth in the long run. For more ideas on how to stop global warming, visit livegreentoronto.ca. Global warming is the increase of the Earth's temperature. This results in the increase of sea levels due to the melting of glaciers. This affects vegetation, shelters, and our overall daily lifestyle. There are several solutions that the government can do, such as orbiting mirrors, forestation, and biochar. By sending orbiting mirrors out into space, sunlight can be redirected to other parts of the world. This can generate electricity and control the climate, making hot areas cooler and cold areas warmer. Orbiting mirrors can also direct sunlight so that crops can be grown 24/7. An easy solution to capture carbon dioxide is to plant a lot of trees. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through photosynthesis, thus cleaning the air and providing us with more oxygen to breathe. Biochar is when biomass is heated through a process called pyrolysis. It creates healthy soil which can retain water, provides an abundance of food, and acts as a carbon sink. It is a win-win scenario where biochar can fight against climate change, world hunger, poverty, and energy shortages. Biochar is known to stay in soil for thousands of years. Back to reality. None of these are permanent solutions for global warming. All have some negative drawbacks, but it is a start. Act now before it's too late.